What is slew rate in audio, and what effects does it have? First, a short primer on the waveform. An audio waveform has two properties. The first property is the amplitude. This is the volume of the sound, how loud it is. The amplitude is the distance between the peaks, here seen extending vertically. The second property is the frequency. This is how much time it takes for the waveform to complete one full cycle, which is measured in hertz, aka cycles per second. When the frequency is doubled, the tone is also doubled, and the waveform takes half as much time to complete a full cycle. To visualize the slew rate, let's animate the waveform slowly. The dot you see moving up and down is the slew rate. It is essentially the speed of the oscillation, the speed the waveform travels from peak to peak at. Currently, our sound reproduction system is able to keep up with the slew rate of the input wave, but let's try to amplify the input wave beyond what our reproduction system can keep up with. Essentially, we are going to speed up the oscillation, which will reveal another waveform under the current one. The orange waveform you see is the slew rate limited waveform. It is unable to move as fast as our unlimited waveform, which is seen in green color, and so it begins to chase after the green unlimited waveform. Increasing the amplitude further, you can see how the orange waveform has transformed into a sawtooth waveform. Reducing the amplitude back to a volume our sound reproduction system can keep up with. Once again, the two waveforms overlap each other. Notice how the dot moves more slowly when the amplitude is lower. Now let's try to double the frequency, which makes the waveform oscillate faster, once again exceeding the slew rate limit of our sound reproduction system. To get back to a slew rate our system can keep up with, to adhere to the speed limit of the slew rate, one might say, we need to lower the amplitude even further than at the lower frequency. So, as we have seen, slew rate is determined by the product of amplitude and frequency. And when we exceed what our sound system can reproduce, the limited waveform begins to trail behind the actual waveform. So, essentially, it's all about making sure the green dot doesn't move faster than allowed, by either lowering the amplitude, the frequency, or both. But limiting the slew rate in the digital domain is prone to create bad aliasing, which will reveal itself dramatically when probed with a sine-sweep. So before committing to a slew rate limiter, it's best to test it with such. First, let's hear the clean unlimited sine-sweep, then the sweep through a simple limiter followed by the sweep through a more complex limiter. Now, the sweep through a slew-rate limiter that uses primitive math which causes lots of aliasing artifacts. And finally, the sweep through a slew-rate limiter that tries to overcome some of the aliasing artifacts. I hope this was educational. Slew-rate limits exist in all analog audio systems, from speakers and mics to compressors and amps. It even exists in nature itself. The only place where it does not exist is in the digital domain, because digital operates only with discrete and static snapshot values rather than actual movement. And this is one reason digitally produced audio can sound very far from audio produced on analog equipment, and why you might opt to use a slew-rate limiter in the first place. Happy sound making. End of line.